and welcome to the Smudge Room. I am Jamie, and I have been MIA for a lot of this year. It's been crazy. So I wanted to come back with a new kind of video. I'm not going to be reading cards in this one. I'm just going to be talking a lot. So the thing I get asked the most about in my line of work is, hands down, it's about compatibility. This video specifically is going to be focused more on sexual compatibility rather than romantic or friendship. This is mostly strictly sex. I'm going to talk about what each sign is like in bed, what their preferences are, what turns them on, what turns them off, and which signs go well together. Stay tuned till the end because I'm going to, I'm going to share the better matches and then the matches that maybe you're not so hot in the sack. I need to mention, most people know their sign, but when you're talking about sex, you're going to want to look at where your Mars is, because Mars is the planet of passion, sex, war. It indicates how you assert yourself. So, well, I'm a bad example because I'm a Gemini sun and my Mars is also in Gemini. However, yours might be different. So you're going to want to look at that placement and also your partners, because you're going to want to know how that works. I would also highly recommend checking your Lilith placement, because Lilith is this is about primitive impulses and behavior in like its most raw form, hidden desires. Now, you can, I'll put links below to show you how to find yours. So yeah, very important to consider when talking about sex. And if you ever want to explore your own relationship, I do synastry reports where I can dissect the dynamics of you and your partner, how you get along and what's good for you and all that stuff. So that being said, I think that's all I got. Let's jump in. Okay, so let's begin with the baby of the zodiac. Let's start with Aries. Aries is a fire sign. It's a cardinal fire sign, which means it kicks off the season. You guys are go-getters. And it's any kind of relationship you have with an Aries, you can probably bet money that they are going to initiate the conversation. They might hit on you first. They're going to want to jump in. They're ready. They're eager. They are loud, and I love them, but they're loud, and they're also loud in bed. They might be into quickies. So if you're looking for foreplay, not that they don't like foreplay, I'm just saying they're not like, they're gonna want to get down to business. They don't play. All right. One thing about Aries that I've found to be true, they might be a little more difficult to reveal their kinks. They don't like to be judged. So until they trust you, they're really not going to share that. They're just going to be all about, getting down to business, right? Sex is grounding for Aries. So turn-ons for Aries. Baby of the zodiac, the initiators, they like to be first. They like to hear things in bed like, oh, no one's ever done that with me before, because they want to be the first and the best and the biggest and all that. They're very dominant in life, but this doesn't always necessarily mean that they're always dominant in bed. They're good, but they are good at being dominant. So if you are a more submissive individual, you might really jive with an Aries. They like to be the boss a lot of the time. They like hard, fast sex. An Aries is going to be more open. They're going to be into like BDSM. They rule the head. Therefore, they're going to like the hair pulling and the scalp massage and face touching. But they do, despite all this like fast acting, they do like a connection. It's important to them. Turn-offs for an Aries, no laziness. They bring their A game, so you better bring yours too. Don't fear theatrics with an Aries, because they can handle it. And this is probably maybe the most important piece of advice as far as turn-offs are concerned. Do not mention past lovers of your own or ask about an Aries past lovers. They don't need to talk about it. They want to be the only one. They want to be first, biggest boss. So just avoid that. Just avoid it. They won't bring it up in all likelihood, so you shouldn't either. And Aries, the position I would choose for Aries would be a quickie doggy style, like wham bam, thank you ma'am. So on to Taurus. Taurus, the bull. A Taurus is always going to be present and patient and persistent. Opposite from Aries, they're gonna like that foreplay. They want to, they want to drag it out. You might date them for a while and not have sex. They're more sensual than sexual. They are stubborn, so I mean that's true. It's a fact. It's possible that a Taurus might not be as willing to bend or compromise. They like their routine. They like to know that they're always going to have sex on Thursday night or what, When you do hook up with a Taurus, you want to make sure to pay very close attention to how they set the scene, because they're going to want to do that again. They like the foreplay, stretching it out. Turn-ons, of course. The foreplay. This is a sign that is maybe because they're into the senses, they could be into the autonomous, autonomous sensory meridian response. So like to whisper like this to a Taurus is probably going to turn them on. Something like that. Taurus rules the second house. So this is the house of values and possessions. So they might have a lot of attachment to their sex toys or lingerie or like whatever they use during sex. They're going to be proud of that and they're going to, hold that dear. Long lovemaking sessions with Taurus. The best way to get to a Taurus's heart is through their stomach. Taurus and Cancer are known for being like foodies, so they might be into, food during sex, but also like aphrodisiac food. And they're going to want to play around with the stuff, and take their time with it. So if you've ever had to wait for a Taurus to get ready, you know what I mean. Turn-offs for Taurus. Quickies. They gotta be present. They don't want to wham bam, thank you ma'am. They also generally would not be a huge fan of big surprises. So, showing up at their doorstep and being naked under a trench coat. I mean, I don't know who wouldn't like that really, but bad example. But surprises, maybe not so much. I think that they, if anything, they want to be the one to give the surprise rather than to be surprised. Taurus don't want no scrubs. They bring their A game, but in a different way than Aries brings it. It's like they're prepared. They want, you to care about yourself, and they also don't like to have their privacy invaded. So position for Taurus, missionary with lots and lots of eye contact. The experimentalist of the group, this is Gemini. They're versatile. They love sex. They love it in all flavors. They are playful and eager. Sex with a Gemini, I can almost guarantee, is never going to be boring. As fun as a Gemini is in bed, they do appreciate the spiritual aspect of sex. Primarily, having an orgasm for a Gemini is good, because Gemini lives in their head so much that when they're able to connect to their body in a way that, draws them into their body, that's really, really good for them. Turn-ons for Gemini. Talk. They like to talk about sex. They like to talk about what they're going to do. You need to get a Gemini stimulated intellectually before they're going to be physically stimulated. There's definitely the sapiosexual thing they've got going. They are attracted to your brain. Turn-ons for Gem. This is going to be one of the more fun signs to do the Kama Sutra with, because they'll try just about anything. They're trisexual. When it comes to being the communicator of the group, and because the Gemini is the twins about duality, They're going to love it when you say something really sweet, and then they're going to love it when you say something like super nasty to them too. Gemini is very visual. You're going to want to try positions where Gemini can see what you're doing to them. They like that. Gemini is going to be down for things like over-the-top outfits or like sex trends. They're trendy generally. Turn-offs for a Gemini. No bad kissing. Gemini is the best kisser of the zodiac. You can argue whatever you want in the comments, but it's the truth. And I've had a lot of practice. Well, I kind of have, but whatever. It's another sign that there's no tolerance for laziness for Gemini. And the biggest turnoff probably is just going to be, well, besides the kissing, you have to communicate with the Gemini because, you know, they're not going to make assumptions. They want you to tell them. A position I would pick for Gemini, all of them. They want to switch it up. Don't just do one thing. Many things. They want to try it in all the ways. And on to sweet Cancer, or not so sweet Cancer. They are sweet, but they can be really freaky. Cancer, of course, is known to be a moody sign. They find sex to be deeply transformative. It's not something they take lightly. Sex helps them to process emotion and to form bonds with people. Sex gives them the chance to process complicated feelings. Bear in mind that with a Cancer, they are going to be very loyal to you. They're also very sensitive. So you're not going to want to just, they're not the one night stand always. They will come back for more, and they like a relationship that will grow over time. Cancer won't just fall into bed with anyone. They can be a little possessive, and they really like the one-on-one, deeply affectionate bonds. Turn-ons for Cancer: body parts, big, small, hairy, whatever. They like body parts and nakedness. Cancer could be into role play and fantasy. They like to explore power dynamics a little bit because they're the mother of the zodiac. So they like to nurture, but they also like to be cared for, and they're very sensitive. And they could be very turned on by, they're a water sign. They could be very turned on by, you know, long baths before sex or sex near water. Turn-offs for Cancer: no fighting. They like to keep it sweet. Cancer will also get very defensive. I'm a Cancer rising, and I don't like to be criticized. I don't like it. I don't like it. Try me. I don't like it. And they don't like it in bed. So criticizing their technique or physique. They don't have any tolerance for like immaturity and like making fun of things and that are sexual, and they just don't have time for it. Like Taurus, Cancers are foodies. So again, with the aphrodisiac type foods, feeding them, letting them feed you, they're into that thing. The position for Cancer, anything where they're really wrapped up. Spooning, you know, sideways sex, spooning. It's a good Cancer position. Leo, I had so many pages for you. I had to cut it back a little bit. Leo is fun in bed. Back to fire signs. They like to be worshipped in bed, and they'll dish it back out too. Leo wants to be a star. Leo wants to be a porn star in bed, and you should let them. Sometimes drama fueled, but Leo loves sex. They love the anticipation of sex. They love the intensity of it. Makeup sex. They are livers of life, so sex is another way for them to live, and they dig that. They're another one that is going to like the whole setting of the stage. They're going to want, you know, a production. They want a production in bed. Bells and whistles. Bring the bells and whistles. Leo may also be more open to the idea of polyamory, group sex, making, you know, exploration. They like to play around. They like the toys. They like the fun of it. So yeah, it's fun. It's fun having sex with Leos. Turn on. It's really important to let a Leo know that you're enjoying yourself. They like to be the center of attention. They like the luxury of sex. They may also like to videotape sex. They may prefer to have a mirror in the room or on the ceiling. They might even be into having sex in public or orgies or, you know, things like that. A turnoff for a Leo would be if sex ever feels like a chore or becomes very routine. They're not down. They don't want it to feel that way. It shouldn't feel that way no matter what, but they really don't like it. And then that's another sign where you can't have a lazy partner. If you're vanilla, that's probably not going to be the coolest thing in the world to a Leo. Not that anything's wrong with vanilla. Vanilla's okay, but they like a little more exotic type things thrown into their sex. The position for Leo, the throne, seated, being like worshipped. So then we have virginal Virgo, which actually is not very, well, they're wholesome on the surface. They can be a closet freak. As we know, Virgos are very controlled, very analytical, very critical. Sex is an opportunity for Virgo to kind of step away from that, or it can be. If it's not, then Virgos, let it be. Let it be something that takes you away from your critical, analytical side. Step out of your buttoned up, hardworking Virgo thing and have fun with it. And a lot of them do. Virgo is the hardest working sign of the zodiac, so this makes them very eager to please in bed. This is another one that would fall into the trisexual category. They're down to give it a shot. They aim to please. And they kind of expect the same out of you. That's another one that's not going to like a lazy partner, really. With a Virgo, their kinks tend to be rather specific. So yeah, they're not exactly prudish and innocent. They also can be a sign that would really, really fixate on sex. And so it's like they might find a kink that they like and just run with it and get deep into that thing. Which is fine as long as you're not hurting anybody, you know. Turn-ons for Virgo, being that they're so hardworking, they're going to like it if you are the kind of partner who is considerate and like maybe you have some of their chores all done for them so that when they get home, they don't have to worry about that. They can just get right into bed with you. It's important to lessen their workload. Just bear that in mind. That can always be helpful. They might, being the hardworking Virgos that they are, they might like to unwind and have a massage or bath or whatever it may be. They do like variety. They like new positions and uniforms, and they're more into like the glossy porn, shaven, maven type of figure. But you definitely be groomed and clean and, you know. Sagittarius is going to be more for like the hippy dippy hairy armpit chick. Virgo's probably not going to be super duper down with that. Now, I'm not saying that they wouldn't be, but they're more of like the, you know, powder fresh partner. Fan of that. Turn-offs for Virgo. Sexual health is going to be important to Virgo. Irresponsibility is a turn-off. They will get bored of having only one way of doing things. Now, sloppiness, like I said before. Be showered and be honest about what you need with a Virgo. They are also ruled by Mercury like Gemini, and so they are also communicators. They communicate in a completely different way, but, you know, tell them what you want and they will do their best to be of service. The position I picked for Virgo, and I don't know why, reverse cowgirl. That's what I like for Virgo. Libra can come across as shy and coy, but in bed, they're kind of ready to get down. This is the sign of partnership. They like to be in committed things often before sex comes into picture. Not always. I mean, they do kind of jump into relationships quickly, and that also might mean the bedroom. Sex is going to ground a Libra. The mind-body connection is like massively heart-opening for a Libra. Be attentive. Libra is the scales, you know, all about balance, although they come into this world to find that balance. That doesn't mean that they're balanced. But they like to be the giver and the receiver. They like the chase, but they like to chase and they like to be chased. They like to tease and like to be teased. They like to play with power dynamics because it's give and take, right? Libra's going to be into an elegant, refined partner. I would never, ever take a Libra on a like sexual excursion, like going camping, unless it's like glamping. I think that they'd probably not be down with that. Not all of them, but some would not. Turn-ons, okay. Libras, they're going to be into mirrors. They're kind of into vanity. Make sure you tell a Libra that they look good. Turn-offs for Libra. And I'd say number one, do not, if you want to piss off a Libra, ignore them. Do not ignore them, rather. That's going to turn them off quick. If you're not showing interest, they're out. If you're not down for fun, they're going to lose interest. They can feel judged, so they kind of like to have their ego pumped. So make sure that, you know, tell them they're beautiful. If you don't do these things, they're going to get bored. And for another turn off, no bathroom quickies. They're not the kind, they're too classy for that. Libra, position for Libra, perfect. 69, the balance, 69. This is the most sexual sign of the zodiac. Scorpio, you guys rule the genitals. Scorpio is also, more importantly, if you get nothing else from this video, know this. And my Lilith is in Scorpio, so I know. Scorpio needs power. If you try to take that away from them, it's not going to be pretty. They're the most alluring. They rule the 8th house, which is the house of sex and death and taxes. This is like merging of the souls for Scorpio. It is deep, it's transformative, and it's powerful. Inner truth that a Scorpio can like drag out of a person in sex it's pretty incredible. Scorpio is going to be the kind of sexual partner you're going to want if you want a fantasy fulfilled. They're going to want to know your deepest, darkest secrets. They might use it against you if you fuck them over. Know that. But they're loyal enough, they'll probably go to that place with you. They'll go down to the depths of the whatever your fantasy is. They're gonna do that for you if they trust you. If not, you don't stand a chance. So being that they are the sexual sign, and by the way, I did a poll and hands down hands down Scorpio was the sign that everyone wants to sleep with the most. I would even go as far as to say there are psychological benefits from having Scorpio in one of your sex placements, or in your big three, or having sex with a Scorpio. I would say that everyone should do it. And you know, these guys are going to have the kinks covered. There's not going to be any uncomfortable, like, you know, weird, you know, there are other signs that are maybe a little more secretive about their kinks. Scorpio is going to be all out there with it. Not really a whole lot that you can't tell them. You can tell them, I mean, if they're good people, they're not going to make fun of it. They're going to understand it. They're going to want to give it to you. Turn-ons for Scorpio, tell them the dirtiest thing you're into. They love feeling powerful and important, so remember that. You gotta be a bit of a giver. They're going to give back in a different kind of a way, but they will, yeah. Into power dynamics to a certain degree. They might give you a little bit and then just ripping it back out. They're going to be exhibitionists. They're going to be voyeurs. They're down. They're down. What else can I say? And the turn-offs, really, don't have a lot. No kink shaming. No kink shaming for any of us. That's not cool. Also, being a bad kisser, that's not going to fly. I will say this. You may want to be careful if you are making sex tapes with a Scorpio, because if you do piss them off, you're not going to want them to have that. And they like having the power, so they will be the ones who have that sex tape, I promise you. So be careful of that. And then really, I mean, the first thing I wrote down for turnoffs for Scorpio is Scorpios have turnoffs, like for real. They know sex. They are comfortable with their sexuality, and yeah, hands down. Our position for Scorpio, where you're tied up, where you're tied up, not them, where they can tie you up. They're going to be into that. God, I need a cigarette after that one. Sagittarius. Sex with a Sag should be big. The bigger, the better. The more, the merrier. Open relationships. And if you can't handle the truth, regardless if it's about sex or otherwise, Sag has no filter. They don't have one. So they're going to tell you the truth. So make sure that you're ready to handle the truth, because they're going to tell you what they think. They do love the casual romp. As free as they are sexually, when they start having sex, they do like that safety and security. But it's easy for them to step into their sexuality. Sex strengthens the aura of Sagittarius, and it helps them to move through life with all the emotions that they face, because they're very passionate. And again, can't stress this enough, more is more with the Sag. They're going to like things like, they're another one that is a prime candidate for the Kama Sutra, because they want to try it all. They are going to like the public sex. They're going to like, they're another trisexual. Turn-ons, again, big, loud, more. Those are turn-ons. Turn-offs for them is going to be low stamina, like all the fire signs. They're going to bring their A game, so you bring yours. Making a Sagittarius defend their past or their position is never a good idea. They're going to like you to be real and honest and passionate. So they're another one that's not going to be down for the routine every Tuesday kind of sex. Position for Sag, any kind of position in public. Now, a lot of people don't know this. Capricorn is the father of the zodiac, and they are actually one of the most passionate signs secretly. You would not know this upon just meeting them, but they definitely are. They're very straightforward. For Capricorn, sex is a very heart-opening experience for them. Capricorn can definitely be kinky. They're the most ambitious sign, so approach sex with determination and be excited, show excitement. Capricorn can tend to seem a little more detached emotionally, so it's going to maybe be slow at first. When they're comfortable, they will reveal they will reveal the super freak within, and they won't disappoint. This is a sign that's very work-based, status-based. They're going to take pride in sexual achievements. Turn-ons. They could be into bondage and handcuffs and all that stuff. Gonna be big on the power dynamics, but definitely more where they're in charge. They're gonna like the kind of dynamics where, you role play they're the teacher and you're the student, or they're the boss and you're the employee. A Capricorn is not gonna be into anyone who's closed-minded or who is fake emotionally. The position I would choose for Capricorn would be a standing position. And on to Aquarius. So Aquarius is known for being uniquely original. It's the oldest of the air signs. They are going to be very open-minded. They're very into intellect, new ideas. They are not considered to be a predictable sign. You may find that because they don't like to be predictable, that could mean that in bed they might like a little bit of the routine, but more often than not, you're going to discover that they need the variety too. Most controlling of the air signs, so what their opinions are going to be important, and that will spill over into the bedroom. Tend to have a voyeuristic streak, so they like to watch and observe. So does Scorpio. They are going to be the kind of sign, they are going to seek unconventional lovers. They don't want anyone to be dull, ever. Be unique. They're gonna be into diversity. Turn-ons for an Aquarius. Aquarius rules the 11th house. This rules technology. They're going to have the state-of-the-art toys. They're ruled by Uranus, so this is the planet that governs electricity. So they're going to be into the toys that have power. High-tech toys. They might also be into things like video chat. And they're definitely attracted to rebels and weirdos. And I love Aquarius, so I'm not making fun, but it's true. Turn-offs for an Aquarius. Immaturity. They've got no tolerance for that. insecurities. Aquarius is not going to be down for a clingy partner. They are the OGs. They're the original ghoster. So like if you have insecurities that you need to deal with, Aquarius is probably not the sign that you're going to want to roll with. They don't like it when the person is too over the top. They're going to see right through that. They don't like the fake orgasms. Who likes that anyway? That's ridiculous. More importantly, they are going to be turned off by someone who isn't original. That's kind of their deal. They like, what do you have to bring to the table? If you've got nothing unique to bring to the table. Position for Aquarius, I would say any kind of like upside down, anything rare, they're going to be down for that. To our last sign, Pisces. I don't know if I've ever talked about sex this much in my life. Pisces is definitely going to be big on the play fantasy. They rule the 12th house, which is the house of the subconscious. They are going to be down for just about anything. Pisces may not be super quick to discuss their own needs in bed until they're ready. They need to trust. They're romantic and they're passionate with stellar sexual intuitive abilities. They like the journey of sex, and not the way that Taurus likes the slow journey, but they like the beginning, middle, end, the story of it. You know, of all the water signs, they probably will go the slowest. They're going to be into things like deep stares and being romantic and sexy and not sloppy. A sexual connection enables Pisces to have a sense of balance. I will say that sex with Pisces is very spiritual. They just intuitively understand sex. They know that lovemaking is the integration of two souls. Turn-ons. Now, Pisces rules the feet, so you're gonna have your Pisces people who are into the foot fetish thing. It's just not all of them, but they're gonna some of them. Whatever their fetish is, they like the worship aspect of sex. You know, they're going to be into it. They're going to be into that fetish. They love closeness. They love deep kisses, and sex is not really a joke with them. They take it really like they're passionate with it. Turn-offs. Don't be fake or phony. They'll see right through that. It takes a lot for a Pisces to be very vulnerable. So if they are vulnerable, that means they trust you. So don't fuck that up. Position for Pisces, anything tantric, anything that is going to explore a position is going to be great. So they're another one of the Kama Sutras. You're going to want to take that. Who are our Kama Sutra people? The Gemini, the Sag, the Pisces, and maybe the Virgo. Those are all mutable signs. So that's interesting. So after all that sex talk, part 2. I sat and I made a list of all of the zodiac signs, and I made a list of the best compatible and the least compatible sexually. And after racking my brain, I think I'm going to do best if I just speak freely, and it will, if I mention the same sign twice in one setting, I apologize. And I cannot stress this enough. Let's say you're a Leo, and I mentioned that Leos are not very compatible with Virgos. And you're a Leo who is married to a Virgo, and you have a beautiful relationship. All well and good. You cannot base something solely on sun sign. You just can't. You have an entire chart with aspects, and you cannot base it on one sign. So if you're going to leave the comment like, I've been with my Virgo for 40 some odd years. Wonderful. Don't want to hear it. Okay. So like, take my advice to get the most out of this video. Please look up your chart, find your Mars and your Lilith. And perhaps those are 2 signs between you and your partner that is the reason why you're good together. So I don't want to hear it. So we're going to start with Aries. Again, best match for Aries. I'm going to go with Leo. Aries and Leo are both fire signs. They are both fast. They are both passionate. I think that would be a good, I think that's one of the better fits. Close second would be Gemini. They jive well together sexually. Least compatible, Virgo. Now these are 2 signs that can be friends. However, they kind of just speak totally different languages. One is, cardinal fire with mutable earth. It's just different speeds, different languages. It's just sexually, it could be good, but it's not the most compatible. Taurus. Taurus is probably most compatible with a Virgo. These are both earth signs, both very, Taurus isn't so meticulous, but they would have the patience for for how meticulous Virgo is, and that would work well. I would say least compatible for Taurus would probably be Sagittarius. Sagittarius is really, really like uninhibited, and they're free spirits. And I think that Taurus would need someone more grounded, like the Virgo. Gemini, I think actually Sagittarius would be perfect for Gemini. They're actually in opposition of one another, but I think that this would be a good opposition that would go great. Well, I know they are a good fit sexually. So they don't really get too attached. I feel like there are two signs that would give each other quite a lot of freedom and encourage each other to, try new things. And I think that it's fun. It's a good fit. That probably one of the worst matches for Gemini is Taurus, because Geminis they're so witty and fast and, like on to the next. Now, I don't mean like with partners necessarily, but they're ready to try new things. Like, okay, we tried that, now let's try this. So for Taurus, that's just kind of like, slow down, can't roll with that. Cancer. Okay. And I know that there are going to be a lot of couples who will agree with this. I feel like the only person that can handle Scorpio is Cancer. Cancer's loyal as fuck. And Scorpio's a lot to handle. But they can make it work. Both water signs, therefore both emotionally charged, and the Cancer is probably one of the few signs that's going to have the patience for the roller coaster of emotion that a Scorpio will provide. And I love you guys, but it's true. I'm Scorpio moon and Lilith. I know. And then bad for Cancer, I'm going to go with Libra, because Cancer, it tends to be very, I don't want to say clingy, because that's not nice, but they like to be attached. Now, Libra is the sign of partnership, so you would think that maybe that could work. But Libra is, again, it's air sign. They're not going to like someone who wants to be possessive of them. Scorpio would love that, but Libra, not so much. Leo. Leo's going to do good with Aries. Oh, I said that already, didn't I? Well, that's because it's true. But yeah, both fiery. Let me think of another. Well, Gemini would be good with Leo. Leo's going to do well with other fire signs and with air, because air, makes fire. So yeah, any sign that is as passionate as Leo, any sign that's going to be able to roll with them and give them freedom. Bad for Leo, I'm going to say Virgo would be a bad fit for Leo, or Taurus, or Capricorn for that matter, because it's just it would become too stagnant for Leo, and I don't think Leo would get the attention that they need. Virgo, gonna roll with other earth signs. Taurus is perfect for Virgo, sorry. And then what would be bad for Virgo? Aquarius, they're a little too unconventional for Virgo. Libra's going to do good with Aquarius and Gemini, other air signs. And actually, yeah, Libras do well with other Libras, I find. A Libra is not going to, drive somebody like Pisces. I think Pisces is too abstract and deep for Libra. You know, Libras can be indecisive and they might have a hard time. Scorpio. Really, I think that the best match for Scorpio, it's got to be another water sign. So Cancer or Pisces, they can handle the emotional. That's, I mean, really. Or out of all the earth signs, maybe Virgo would be best for Scorpio. Yeah, but okay, so bad for Scorpio. Gemini is bad for Scorpio because Scorpio likes to go really deep, and often people think, and they're wrong, people think that Gemini two-faced, shallow. Not the case, I promise you. We're just thinking of 12 other things while you're trying to get us to focus. But they can be perceived that way. Sagittarius, Aries, Leo, very good, passionate, whoever's going to give him, you know, again, freedom, let him be himself, or her, let them be themselves, and fun. It's got to be fun. So Gemini, again, I think, yeah, that's what I said first time around. Bad for Sag, Capricorn, a little too button up, and or Virgo, a little too button up and probably judgmental a little bit. For Capricorn, Capricorn's going to do well with a Virgo. They also do very, very well in working situations, but yeah, that can spill over into the bedroom too. And bad for Cap, Gemini, again, I think that might be one of the worst combos because Gemini is so childlike and, you know, easily just excitable. Like, I feel like Capricorn is like, where are you from? I don't know what to do with you. Aquarius would do very well with Gemini, who is, you know, living in the clouds. They would like that. They would do well with Libra as well. I've known some Aquariuses who can do not so, I don't know. I feel like especially Aquarius as an air sign needs to be with other air signs. Aquarius and Aquarius can do really well together, especially because they, you know, are so unpredictable and unique. They almost need another unpredictable and unique person to roll with them. And God, Virgo would be bad for Aquarius. Taurus is probably the worst for Aquarius. I mean, I can't even imagine. It's just not a good fit. Pisces, Cancer, again, water and water. You know, Pisces is going to need someone who can be emotionally supportive. Although I say that, and Kurt Cobain and Courtney Love were Pisces and Cancer. But it's true. I mean, that's what connected them in the first place, was a deep understanding emotionally. Bad for Pisces, Leo, fire signs. They have the passion that would match with Pisces, but they just don't have the emotional depth. So yeah, that's my list. I'm sorry if you oppose. Check your chart to find out where your Mars and your partner's Mars and Lilith and your partner's Lilith is before you comment and say you don't know what you're talking about. But I do know a little bit about what I'm talking about. So that's it, guys, for the sexual compatibility video. I hope you liked it. Hope it gave you some insight. And if nothing else, just, you know, check your chart, become a little more familiar with it. Ask me anything, anytime. And that is all. That was a lot of sex talk.